Cattle played an important part when the West was young, and Brownsville played an important part in making sure key areas of the Southwest got their beef at a critical time in history. It's where the supply of cattle was abundant and where historic trails started to get them to their destinations. Cameron County Historical Commissioner Gene Fernandez tells us more in this week's Throwback Thursday.
Brenda, we are here at yet another world-class site for the Valley, and that is the Chisholm Trail, the start of the Chisholm Trail. The Chisholm Trail started right at the point of Reconstruction. Now, when I say Reconstruction, there was a reason for the Chisholm Trail. During the Civil War, 1861, 1865, the cattle herds over in the east were decimated by the war. But Texas had millions of range cows on their territory. So we drove the cattle from South Texas, starting in South Texas, and that's literally here in Brownsville, and some of the Mexican cattle from the other side, and all of the valley conglomerate on up to San Antonio, to Fort Worth, and then to Abilene, Kansas. The activity on the trail took place from 1867 to about 1885, and it was named after a very colorful character. His name was Jesse Chisholm. Jesse Chisholm had a chain of trading posts along the route from Abilene to about Fort Worth. And what he actually originated as was he was a Scottish Cherokee that came into Texas from Tennessee in the early 1800s. Now, the conglomerate of all of the trails that converged into the Chisholm Trail, hence we call it the Chisholm Trail, but they fanned out, especially in the south here at the border, to a number of different ranches coming through and organizing for the valley in Mercedes, because that was one of the oldest cities that was around at that time, and it was a cattle trading post. Then what they did was they went on up to Alice. They went on up to Fort Worth after that in the stockyards there. The price advantage on utilizing the Chisholm Trail was distinct. Number one, there weren't any railroads, hence you had to have a trail, you had to drive cattle. The range cow in South Texas at the time after the Civil War was valued at under $2 a head. By the time they got to Kansas, they were $25 to $40 a head. It took 3 months in order to go this route, driving those cattle. They didn't drive them fast because you'll work off the beef if you do that. And they actually grazed on their way, and to a degree, they were fatter when they got to their destination. The benefit of the Chisholm Trail in the capital that it gave to South Texas was enormous. And that's what makes history. For KVEO News, Eugene Fernandez.
In Brownsville, you can check out the marker, which shows the start of the Chisholm Trail at Alice Wilson Park. That's at 13th Street and Levy downtown.